The gold of West Africa dazzled the world, but as we journey south, the story shifts. Here, the land stretches wide and raw, savannas rolling into mountains, deserts flowing into coastlines. Southern Africa was not just a stage for survival, it was a canvas where kingdoms, warriors, and builders carved their mark into history. This is Southern Africa, a tale of stone cities, cattle wealth, and kings whose names thunder across time. Our story begins with Great Zimbabwe, the crown jewel of Southern Africa. Rising between the 11th and 15th centuries, Great Zimbabwe was a city built entirely of stone, without mortar, without cement, yet standing strong centuries later. Imagine massive walls snaking across the hills, towers rising from the ground, and enclosures so intricate they still baffle archaeologists today. This city was more than architecture, it was power. Great Zimbabwe controlled gold mines and trade routes that stretched to the Swahili coast. From here, gold and ivory traveled north to Kilwa and Zanzibar, and from there across the Indian Ocean to Arabia, India, and China. When Portuguese explorers first heard tales of this stone city, they were stunned. They couldn't believe Africans had built it, so they invented myths about foreigners. But the truth is simple. Great Zimbabwe was African genius at work. At its height, tens of thousands lived within its walls. But by the 16th century, it was abandoned, its reasons still debated. Was it drought? Overpopulation? Shifting trade? Whatever the cause, the ruins remain, a silent monument to a lost empire. But Great Zimbabwe wasn't the beginning. Before it rose, there was Mapungubwe. Around the 1200s, Mapungubwe thrived at the confluence of the Limpopo and Shashi rivers. Here, rulers sat above their people, literally, on a hilltop that symbolized divine authority. Gold artifacts from Mapungubwe, like the famous golden rhinoceros, reveal a society deeply skilled in art and craftsmanship. Mapungubwe set the stage for the rise of Great Zimbabwe, proving Southern Africa was never isolated, but plugged into global trade. Fast forward to the 18th century, and we meet one of Africa's most legendary figures, Shaka Zulu. Born in hardship, Shaka transformed the Zulu from a small clan into a mighty kingdom that shook the region. He revolutionized warfare, introducing the short stabbing spear, the Ikulwa, and tight battle formations called the buffalo horns. His warriors moved like waves, disciplined and relentless. Under Shaka, the Zulu expanded rapidly, uniting many clans under one rule. But his rise also triggered the Mfikane, the crushing, a period of upheaval and migration as tribes scattered to escape Zulu expansion. Entire regions were reshaped, new states formed, and the map of Southern Africa forever altered. Shaka himself was both admired and feared, a visionary leader, but also ruthless. His assassination in 1828 ended his rule, but the Zulu kingdom endured, later clashing with British colonizers in wars that shook Victorian confidence. The Battle of Isandlwana in 1879, where Zulu warriors defeated a modern British army, still stands as one of the greatest upsets in colonial history. But the Zulu were not alone. The Nguni migrations birthed new states. One of the most powerful was the Gaza Empire in modern-day Mozambique, founded by Soshangan, a general who broke away during the Mfikane. Gaza dominated trade routes, dealt with Portuguese traders, and carved a powerful kingdom that lasted well into the colonial era. This shows how Southern Africa was not a land of isolated tribes, but a patchwork of dynamic, shifting states. High in the mountains, another story unfolded. The Basotho people, led by King Mushweshwe, created a kingdom that resisted both Zulu pressure and European encroachment. Mushweshwe was a master diplomat, uniting clans, forging alliances, and turning the mountains into fortresses. His legacy still stands today as the modern nation of Lesotho, a reminder of how small states could survive in the storm of empire. Yet, long before kingdoms and empires, Southern Africa was home to the Khoisan people, hunter-gatherers and herders whose roots stretch back tens of thousands of years. The Khoisan left their mark in rock paintings scattered across caves and cliffs, vivid scenes of hunts, rituals, and dances. Though marginalized and displaced by later arrivals, Bantu farmers, Dutch settlers, and others, the Khoisan remain living proof of Africa's deep, unbroken human story. Southern Africa wasn't just about kings and warriors. It was also about trade, ivory, cattle, gold, and later diamonds. These riches would attract outsiders, first Portuguese traders, then Dutch settlers, and finally the British. The wealth of southern Africa was both its strength and its curse, for it brought colonization and wars that would scar the region for centuries. But long before colonialism, southern Africans had built civilizations, defended their lands, and told stories that still resonate today. From the stone walls of Great Zimbabwe to the spears of Shaka Zulu, from the golden rhinos of Mapungubwe to the battle cries at Isandlwana, Southern Africa's history is one of resilience, brilliance, and pride. But as the 18th century closed, a new storm swept across the land. Guns and greed, diamonds and empire, the colonial scramble for Africa would soon descend with full force. The question is, how would Africa's great civilizations face this final test?